You.
I'm sorry about that. That made me cough.
Okay. Alrighty. So here we are. We're back. Blaze of Cruelty's live. We are going to kind of do a little bit of a recap because, again, the audio was lost for the last session. And then we're going to get into it. The party, we're missing Daniel today. But the party, the four of them, set a trap for the griffin. They sprung the trap on the griffin, killed it, and then they went over to Setrek Training Center to turn Raven's character, James, I believe, into the local authorities for basically using magic that comes from demons. Consorting with demons essentially was the accusation. And the garrison there at Setrek Training Center took his sword, which restricted access to his warlock powers, and they said they would return it to him if it turned out that the sword was not malefic in nature. It would be a couple of days until that could be ascertained, and then they were released. You all then returned to the Serpent's Head Inn, and you had a good night's sleep, and then the following morning you ran into Aelithal Ariash, who is Calvin Ariash, our missing nobleman, his younger brother. After a tense conversation with Aelithal about what was he doing in Sorath, why did he post all these bounties for looking for his brother, and is he going to just piss his father's money away? After a tense conversation about those topics, he admitted that he saw Calvin a couple of days ago outside the castle on the streets of Sorath, and that he then was threatened by Calvin, and the older brother left the city and went to the west. After that, Aelithal returned to the Serpent's Head Inn, and he's been doing things about town, as far as you guys know, but that's where we are. Any questions? Anything anybody wants to clear up real quick before we get started?
I do think
Not
the
that I
most
can-
important thing is that Bait survived.
Yes, Bait, the salamander that you guys had purchased for the purpose of luring in that griffin, did survive the griffin attack.
Yay.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and then I'm going to get us started. So, you all were at the Serpent's Head Inn, that's here, in the northern quarter of the city, right there on the main road. And Reanne, I believe you were writing a letter to...
Yes, I knew I meant to do something. I plead the flu.
You plead the flu, okay.
I will write you a letter so you can add it to the stuff, but basically, a letter to Aerothal's dad that, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and Calvin was seen, and we're going to go hunting after him, but I don't hold out much hope.
Okay.
I will write it better. Like I said, I plead the flu for not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies.
It's okay. Yeah. Just get that to me when you're good for it. With that in mind, what do you guys want to do? It is morning. It is about 7:15 in the morning. Quarter after 7.
And Aelithal has already departed.
He has not departed yet, but he's getting ready
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to talk to him about for Casa? Because I think I put the fear of Reanne into him.
Nope. I'll just,
We got
awkwardly stare at him every once in a while, make sure he knows I'm watching him.
We did get the general direction that Calvin was going in.
Yeah, so Sorath is a city that only has a northern and southern exit. And so even if you're trying to go east or west, you have to leave through either the north or the south gate. And so Aelithal had spotted him here, just south of this castle, and then he left through this southern gate and headed west.
Well, we have to head south again anyway to collect our bounty for the griffin.
Mm-hmm.
And we hadn't like looted it or anything, right? We went straight to take care of James.
Yeah, you guys didn't loot it or anything like that.
So there's some of that we may want to do on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Out of game question, what do we have in the way of riding beasts?
In the way of riding beasts, you guys have 2 horses with you. So you have your horses, what are their names again?
Mine is Chamomile.
Yes, Chamomile and Dusty. So you have those 2 horses.
And James has none.
Correct. And Timothy has no horse either.
Okay, so you want to go get the bounty for Casa and take James and Timothy and go loot the body? There are useful things off of Griffin's body, I'm sure. And I will go get horses for our companions.
That definitely works for me. Where are our companions right now? I believe everybody was in the room, but...
Yes, everyone was in the room of the tavern with you.
James, are you with Timothy?
James was sitting at a different table, but when he saw you all leave, he joined you at the back.
Okay. Yeah, I would have come up ahead of time and without really mentioning that we just had an encounter with a family member, kind of clap my hands together and be like, all right, fellas, loot. But just make sure everyone's, agrees.
Yeah, Timothy is down for that.
Yeah, sure.
Do we know what kind of stuff is useful? Like, if we're trying to get talons or blood or anything like that, like, do we need vials? Like, do we have a plan for what kind of stuff would be useful?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, and if it's a roll, that's fine. I just...
Largely the Griffin's talons and, some of its larger feathers are, they make for good, like, gifts or, aesthetic things that you can add to your armor. You could do that sort of thing as like a trophy, or you could take them to give to people as gifts. Either of those sorts of things.
Are they marketable?
Yeah, they're marketable. They're valuable.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sound like we need vials or anything for alchemical stuff, so... I guess it's just whatever we can carry.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll set out.
Okay. So the party will set out and head back to the Skirtboro Salamander Farm. Move the party token.
And I will head into the city and try and find horses for sale.
Okay. So Reanne is traveling separately from the rest of the group. I'm going to drop you at the tavern there. I'm going to move you to kind of like right here. Okay. So, Reanne, give me an investigation check, and if you guys are doing your looting, pick somebody to do a survival. And the person who's doing the survival can do the survival at advantage. I don't know why the frickin' chat thing does this. That's an 11, though.
Yes.
Okay.
I absolutely suck at survival.
All right, I can do it.
Let's see. Okay, 15. You guys gather some of the talons and some of the feathers. Probably, if sold to the right market, it's probably worth like 50 to 100 gold pieces.
Didn't you say we had a party fund somewhere?
Yeah.
Where is that located?
Should be under the utility folder in your player characters folder. I think you guys have access to it. Oh no, yeah, you have ownership of it, yeah.
A bot party inventory.
Yep.
Why am I spacing on where this is? There we go.
You found it?
Yeah, so... Does it need to have a token?
The items? Yeah, so
Yeah.
it needs to be an actual item for it to go in there. But I can make one for you guys. Okay. That's in there now. It's its icon is a little baggy.
Griffin loot.
That works.
Okay. So I still need to write this down somewhere then. So that's not the best place.
You can take it out of the party inventory there and put it in your own.
Well, I need to write down how many we have and the value, and it doesn't look like I can edit. So
Oh no, you can't edit those.
that's why I'm like trying to figure out the best place to put stuff.
Yeah, it's the Griffin loot item itself is just it encompasses all of the Griffin loot that you acquired.
All right, and now I'm also not seeing a player journal.
You don't see your player journal?
No. Can you just say it and I'll put it in our Discord?
The Griffin loot has some text associated to it. So.
Okay, so you can't see the player journal. So you don't see the you don't see any of your quest entries?
Shoot. What did I just do?
Right now? Okay, so you have the griffin loot in your inventory now.
Yeah, because apparently I double clicked it thinking that would be the text that Raven mentioned. Can you just fix it and then give me what the totals were so I can put it in Discord?
Okay. It's just 1 unit of griffin loot, and it's probably worth about 100 gold pieces. Is that what you wanted?
So, okay. Like, do we know how many talons versus feathers?
I'm not given a specific number of them. I'm just giving you like a as a whole. This is what it is made of, and that's how much it's worth. Because if I could make individual item griffin talon and give you a number of those, and then make an individual number of griffin feathers. Do you prefer that, or do you want it as like one item to manage?
Yeah, I mean it's already one item, so it's fine. It's
Okay, well tell me what your preference is going forward so I can do that.
I think what you have is fine.
Okay.
It's gonna matter if we're doing anything character specific with it, or whether it's just loot, because if we're just gonna sell it, then sure, that makes sense. But if we're doing character stuff, we may want to know how many feathers we have versus talent. So
Okay.
in this case, we'll sell it. It's fine.
All right. Well, I will update it later with specific numbers. Okay. So you go to Skerpro to turn in the quest, let him know that you killed it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So you guys arrive at the farmhouse. He's already awake, of course. It's probably been like nearly an hour. And he's out there and he says, "Oh, good to see all of you are alive. And I saw that salamander that you had alive this morning as well. How are you all?"
Feeling successful.
Oh, okay, good. Did you kill it?
We killed it, yes.
Great.
It is currently dead in your field.
Oh, great. Well, at least the salamanders will eat good for a while. Okay, let me go ahead and pay you. And he is gonna what's the test character? Gonna go ahead and assign the experience out to you, and then I'm gonna assign the money out. Okay, loot entity. Remove that actor. Split the money. Oh, that divides nicely. Okay. Okay, there are 2 copper pieces left. Who wants them?
I'm not there, so y'all.
You can give it to Timothy. He's the one that seems to need it the most.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That was in... Okay. That just makes me mad now. Okay, I gotta fix this. Everyone gets 122 gold pieces, 12 copper pieces, and 12 silver pieces and 17 copper. So let me add that in. 12 plus 17. Okay, that's Reanne done. Great. 122. 12 plus 17. Okay. 122 plus 12 plus 17. Okay. And 122 plus 12 plus 17. Okay. Okay, I gotta fix this real quick, because this is gonna fuck up everything that I have built back there.
What went wrong?
The currencies.
Oops.
They're still coded in the journal for the old way, and they're not coded. So now I gotta fix them. There we go. That should work. Okay, so this is now a completed quest. And you guys have, he gave you basically a side of salamander beef as a reward as well. So I'm going to put that in your party inventory.
Is it like dried and we can eat it whenever, or is it like put that in a stew tonight?
It's dried and you can eat it whenever.
Nice.
Okay, it's not letting me do that, so I'm going to just go ahead and put that on Timothy's sheet. And then I'll transfer it. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. We're getting there. Cool, 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 cool. So yeah, you clear that up, and Timothy says to you, to the two of you, that he's got some things he'd like to do in town. He's gonna go ahead and do those. He's gonna, you know, he might catch up with you guys later, but if not, it's been a pleasure. Okay?
Okay.
And he says he'll, if he does, he's gonna swing by the boarding house, to, you know, catch up with you guys if he can. So that leaves just you and just Vera and Raven at the Skirtborough farm. We're gonna cut away from that real quick to deal with Reanne's ask, which was to find some horses.
Yes, please.
So you're shopping for horses, just regular riding horses?
Yeah, I have no idea how well they can ride, so.
Trained riding horses that are gonna react specifically to the commands. Perfectly normal ask. Let's see. Here we go. So it takes you about an hour and change to find a livery that is stabling some horses for use. There is a grumpy old guy kind of sitting out on the in front of this building. That's in this district right here that you're next to. So I'm going to move you to the district itself. This is Selgor district. It's a merchant quarter. It makes sense for a livery to be here. It is close enough to Sophia district where the rich people live that they can send a servant over to this one that you're in, Selgor, rent a carriage and a horse team and leave the city and then send back. That's kind of how the business sort of operates. You'd know that from living in Cruelty for such a long time and being the age that you are and also being a noble. You can have that information for free. So this old guy's out there in front of this building. It's a 2-story building. It's got the big pair of doors facing the street, wooden doors. The building itself, the first floor, is made of some kind of cut stone, sort of like a middling gray, not quite dark, but not quite bright. This old guy, he's maybe 5 feet tall. He's got no hair on the top of his head. He's got white hair all the way around the rim of his head. Sort of like a friar, except it doesn't cut out to the front. And he's got it connected with a long white beard. And he's kind of leaning back in this chair against the building, sort of precariously positioned. And there's a pipe in his mouth, and there's little smoke coming out of it. But he looks like he's asleep.
Excuse me, good gentle.
You see him crack an eye open, and he looks at you, and he says, "No, no, no, this is a dream. No, this is a dream. I'm going back to sleep."
I have money.
Oh, this is a good kind of dream. And he kind of leans forward, and you hear the chair legs kind of splat a little bit in the mud. The ground here is quite, if it's not grass, it's quite sticky mud. It's been raining for the past 2 months in Cruelty.
Mm-hmm.
We've just ended the raining season. So today I think the weather's okay. Let me take a look real quick. The weather today is more rain. So it's raining again. And he is sort of, he looks up the sky and he says, "You know, when I was younger, when we moved into Floras like this, today's first. When Floras started, it stopped raining like it was supposed to. Now, it's still raining."
When I was younger, Floris didn't exist.
Alright, we're not going to play who's old here. Clearly, I'm old because I feel it and I look it, and you're wandering around like you're some kind of soldier here. So you may have the number on me, miss, but I've got it in my bones. What can I do for you?
We shan't argue. I need to buy a pair of horses.
Buy, as in purchase, to own?
Buy is to purchase to own, because I cannot guarantee whether they will come back to you or not.
Honest, I like it. And he goes into this livery. He says, "Follow me. I got some horses to show you."
I follow along.
Okay, he goes into the livery, shows you around. There are about 8 horses here for sale.
Okay.
Okay, so this one's Williker. It's a white and brown horse. And this one's Jonathan. I didn't name him. This one over here is Bleached Peach Pit. And that one over there is Ruffle Me Feathers. Again, I don't name them. That's just the first 4. And you see that these are regular riding horses. They're of good size, and they appear outside of, anything else to be in good health. If you would like, you can make some checks on them to see what their state is.
Yeah, I assume that would be animal handling.
Animal handling is more about coercing animals and communicating with them and getting them to do stuff and training them and that sort of thing. This is more of like playing a horse doctor. So I'm going to say more along the lines of a medicine check. Or at the very least, if you don't have medicine, a nature check.
Well, my medicine is better than my nature.
Okay. Yeah, with a 10, these horses look to be like good horses. None of them seem to be injured. None of them seem to be limp or anything. A couple of them have a little bit of an attitude. But otherwise,
they're horses.
Yeah, they seem okay. They're horses. You've seen 1,000 horses in your lifetime.
What about the other 4?
So these 4 over here, I keep for renting.
Okay.
That's all. You said you wanted to
That's
buy.
fine.
These 4 I keep for renting
want to buy.
because they're reliable.
That's fine. Of these 4, in total honesty, please, which had the best stamina?
The best stamina?
I have no idea how long we're going to be riding. I want decent horses with good stamina and endurance.
Okay.
I've got a pair of.
Okay. Spin me a yarn. Where are you going? Because terrain matters when it comes to stamina.
It does. I'm heading south, chasing after not a thief, but someone I need to bring back to the capital.
Okay. So, south of us, we're in Sorath, is the hilly region of the Navarre, and then further south of that is the Varanald. Are you thinking that you need to go into, like, Scaraptica or the Varanald, or are you thinking you need to stay up here in Navarre, or even go further north? What do you think? I know you said south, but I just want to... We're talking terrain right now.
Let's go with the Nuraval.
The Navarre?
Yeah.
Okay, so... hilly region, some forests, not so much flat. So this one here, and he points to Jonathan, pretty good horse. Comes from this region, bred by the Corday, good family. And this one over here, what I call him, Shuffle Me Timbers. I don't know his name.
Ruffle my timbers.
Ruffle My Timbers. That's what it was. This one over here was bred by the Hellinger on the other side of the Anundiak Lake. Good horse folk as well. Probably your best bets, because while Corday's not quite in the Navarre region, he's more of Kushfire family. They come here quite often. And Hellinger is heart of Navarre region kind of family. So
I trust you on this one. I mean, you do have a reputation to maintain, so.
yeah, I do.
How much?
For the 2 of them, we're talking 150 Rits.
I don't have the time to haggle. Done.
Oh, I like it when a customer doesn't have the time to haggle. And he accepts, and he says, I'll draft the papers for you in a moment, and I'll get you out of here with your new horses, ma'am.
All right, the only other thing I need is some saddles.
Saddles? Saddles and tack. All right. I can provide those to you, of course. Since you're buying 2 horses, give you a little bit of a discount, just so you'll come back. Okay. So riding saddles are 10 gold pieces each, so that's 20, and that includes tack.
Okay.
So I'm going to take another 20 off you. And he says, okay, I'm going to deed these horses to you. Your name, ma'am?
Baroness Reanne Verdasta.
Okay, Baroness Reanne Verdasta. And as you see him writing, he's got a smooth hand to him, even though he's ancient looking. Good, clear writing. Spells your name right. He says, okay, Baroness, sign here. And he puts these 2 papers in front of you to sign.
I assume they are what they say they are?
Yeah, if you read them, they are exactly what they say they are. They're just basically deeds of ownership for these 2 horses. They include on the second page lineages for the horses, and this is everything that you expect to see from a reputable horse trader.
Fair enough. I sign and seal.
Okay. He takes them, puts them in their own pile, and then he produces another copy of the set. He says, and of course, the Corinthian government wants their copy too.
Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't run without it.
Yeah. You know that the Corinthian administration, the massive bureaucratic machine that operates the country for the Tuesday family, is just hell-bent on documenting everything, and they're all about record keeping. And this is why this country is one of the few countries that has a immigration control and issues identification for all of its citizens. It's pretty wild for a lot of people coming from the South. A lot of the refugees are like, "What is this? I've never had to prove who I am before," that sort of thing. So you sign and stamp these other two forms with your signet ring, and he takes them and he puts them in a box to go to the government, and he says, all right, do you want to take them today, or you want to come back from later?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Nope.
So
today.
They're all yours. The farmer's market, if you're looking for feed for a long period, has the better deal, ma'am. I'm going to charge you an arm and a leg for it, mainly because I got to feed them all the time. But if you buy from the farmer's market, you're probably better off.
I thank you very kindly for the advice, and I will go there. I wish you a very pleasant and safe life.
Thank you. And he looks happy enough with his day. And you leave with these two horses. I'm going to create these horses now in your mounts folder. Just going to duplicate chamomile real quick. It was Ruffle Me Timbers.
Uh-huh.
And Jonathan.
Yep.
Okay. Jonathan. Jonathan is rideable. He can be mounted. And Ruffle Me Timbers. Ruffle Me Timbers. Great. Okay. Cool. Okay, so they're in the right folder now. So if you guys need to mount up, you guys have 4 horses to mount up with.
Okay. Excellent.
Right.
Okay. So that takes you... that finishes your bit. It's probably about 9:30 when you're done all of that. What do you want to do from here, Reanne?
Go to the farmer's market, pick up feed for 4 horses,
Okay.
and I'm going to make an assumption that our traveling companions have, at the very least, bedrolls. So.
Yeah. They should.
They should.
They should.
Doesn't mean they do. They should.
They should.
Feed for horses, feed for us for at least a week, whatever the next closest town is.
Okay. Jeans. I think I'm just looking for to double check that. Okay. Yeah, so while you're shopping, you can do your shopping. You can do shopping from the player journal very easily. It's under the Sorath folder, and in the places subfolder, you should see a number of stores. There's Ripley's general store. You can get adventuring or tools, that kind of stuff, clothes, bedrolls, rations, that kind of general stuff. The other market that's there is the farmer's market, and that's what these two places are right next to each other. So where your token is here on the map, right next to you, the green building is the farmer's market, and across the street is the general store.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go shopping,
Yeah.
and you can go back to the other players.
That's what I was gonna do. So Raven and Vera, you finish up with Lester Scarpborough over here at Scarpborough Salamander Farm. What do you want to do?
So I turn to James and I say,
Daniel's here. He's muted, but he's in the chat. Hi, Daniel.
He joined like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even notice. Hi, buddy.
did you want to...
No. We'll do this bit with you, and then I'll catch Daniel up on where he is, and we'll go from there. Okay?
Okay. So I'll turn to James and I'll say, was there anything you wanted to do while waiting for your sword investigation? We'll probably be continuing our research, so... Do you have enough to still protect yourself?
Man, I still got my trusty crossbow. Well, he bats his crossbow on his hip.
Range is always good.
But, yeah, my defense is a little bit down.
Okay. So, I want to do two things. I want to check in with the training center that we were at last night.
Okay.
And just kind of imply that we're following a case that may take us out of town.
Okay.
And while we've sworn to continue to, babysit James, how long they think they may need to investigate the sword if we are out of town.
Okay. You go there and you leave a message with the guard. Silver Knight is out on training exercises. He said the duty sergeant, and it's not sergeant. I'm having a lot of brain stoppage today. Sorry, guys. Sergeant Brandisnicht. It's not her. It's just some other sergeant. Just says they're out on exercises. I can take the message, but I don't have any answers for you.
All right, so I'll leave a message, and it'll just be that, please continue to hold for a couple days.
Yep.
And to find us, leave word with a serpent's head in, something like that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He salutes you and goes about his business.
Great. I'll do appropriate levels of military response back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will take James to the market because we are going to be trying to get some healing potions for that lack of defense that was mentioned.
Okay.
And a bad roll.
Okay.
So you guys arrive at the market, and Reanne's there buying stuff. So the three of you are together. So you guys can go ahead and do some shopping there.
Okay.
You will notice that there isn't anyone who sells healing potions out of these two locations. You may have to find someone else, which you might have to ask around.
I will do that.
Okay. That's an investigation check.
Okay.
Okay. So when I do ask around checks, usually that's the better you do, the faster you find it. Not, you don't find it if you don't meet the DC, but if you meet the DC, you find it faster than if you don't. So in this case, you've met the DC, it was pretty low, and this woman who's kind of shopping for some food says, "Oh, you're looking for potions? Okay. You won't find any potions in town, not like that. Keevan's alchemical shop is what you want to find, or alchemic wonders, something like that. It's outside of town on the northeastern side. It's this little shack right past the boarding house. You go to the boarding house, right? And then if you look up at where the tower is, Tegan's Lookout, the tower on the north side of the city, it's to the east. You take the east road. It's lined by some weird bushes and such, and that's the road to the alchemist workshop. That's where you want to go if you're looking for potions, chemicals, that kind of stuff. You know, my daughter had the croup last year. He had a poultice, cleared that gunk right out of her lungs. Wonderful man, that Keevan.
How far out of town?
It's not that far out of town. It's 500 feet? I don't know. It's a driveway or rideway, basically. Yes, and you've got your cursor in the right spot. That's what she's talking about right there.
Okay. Okay. Then I'll slide up to where my friends are still shopping somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'd mention that we may want to take a detour.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys can finish up your shopping. I'm going to check in with Timothy.
Okay.
Okay, Timothy, you've already informed your friends that you have some stuff to do, and you will be doing that, and you may or may not see them later. And if you don't see them later, it's been wonderful, but if you do see them later, you will meet them at the boarding house. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So that's where I got. It's been 2 hours since you left them at Skerperos. You're looking for a particular kind of shop yourself, right?
Right.
Right. So you're gonna have to go ahead and make that investigation check as well.
Let's see. I'm not sure if I can open Foundry up on my phone.
I can roll it for you if that is the case.
If you could, please.
Yep. So investigation, public roll. Okay. For whatever reason, it doesn't show what I roll in the stream side. You rolled an 8. That was about around 8 o'clock or so. 8:15ish. You get there up here to Keevan's alchemical workshop or wonders a little bit before the rest of the party may or may not arrive. Depends on how long they spend shopping. So you arrive there. You are walking down this hedgerow or these bushes, and I'm gonna roll a nature check for you. because that's what I'm gonna would have asked you to do.
Thank you.
Yep. With a 5, you notice that these plants are real weird. They don't look like any normal bushes. You recognize some of these plants from the garden that you used to tend, but outside of that, you're not really familiar with them. These are herbs mostly. You arrive outside this building, and it's a sort of this water-slaked place. It's got a little tower popping out of the side of it. The shingles of the roof are a dark slate gray, and they're slicked from the rain. There's a wisp of smoke rising out of the dark stone chimney. The whole building's made of stone, which is odd for this region because usually the first floor is just made of stone, and then the rest of it is made of timber, timber and stucco and that kind of stuff. Cheaper material on the after the foundation. You go into the building, and you find that there are quite a few things for sale. Browsing it, you see that he's got some bottles, component pouches, empty, flasks, tankards for sale, jugs, pitchers, vials, just a lot of glassware and a lot of containers for liquids. He also is selling as far as what is usable: acid, alchemist fire, which is a dumbed down version of the fulminating grenade that the military uses, antitoxins, inks, oils, perfumes, and there's some vials of like animal poison, not super strong stuff, might kill you if you drink the whole thing. And he's kind of watching you a little bit. There's some healer's kits. There's alchemist supplies, brewer's supplies, cook's utensils, and herbalism kits. He's a interesting sort of fellow. He's a little on the lanky side. He's probably middle-aged. He's got silver or white hair already. And he's got some stubble on his face, loose shirt. He says, "So, what you looking for?"
Would me or my family have any dealings with him in the past, potentially?
He might have purchased bulk grown stuff from you before. Your familiarity with him would be as someone who's bought stuff from you.
Gotcha. In that case, I will go up to the counter and I will ask, I'm looking for some kind of paralytic or poison. Do you have any of that in stock?
He says, "Over there on that shelf you hovered by for a few minutes, there is poison. Good for taking out small critters, children, so don't feed it to your kids or anyone's kids. Medium, like, mainly small stuff." It's kind of just...
What about for something larger, let's say like an orc or a griffin?
He kind of blinks at the word orc, and he doesn't recognize the word. And then he says, Griffins are big. You need something potent for griffins. I don't carry anything like that in stock. Why, you got a griffin problem?
Well, we might be doing some hunting of them later. I don't know if you heard about any of the commotion going down at the farms, but
I heard about that.
There was a juvenile griffin that we had to take care of earlier.
I see. Okay. I can mix up a custom batch of poisons. If it's for a hunting purpose, that sort of thing, Law is I need to see the contract, and I have paperwork to fill out.
I could probably get a copy of that. Could you go ahead and get started while I go procure the paperwork?
I can get the paperwork started on my end. Can't start mixing until all the ducks are in the row. You know how they are at the administration. Last thing I need is some frickin' inspector knocking on my door because someone important got knocked off by one of my poisons. So.
Can I do an insight check to see if he would be open to negotiating whether or not the paperwork is required?
Yeah, you can do an insight check on him. I will go ahead and roll that for you. That's a natural 20. You rolled a 22 in total. So Kevin Esrak, you're kind of thinking about him a little bit. You remember seeing him on paperwork that your family bought, or he bought some herbs and such from your family. He was a good customer. He always had his paperwork done, but he's kind of looking at you like he recognizes you a little bit. You feel a little like he sees who you are, really. And you think that he's already put together what you're trying to do. And he says, listen, I know times are hard and not always helpful to get the authorities super involved with personal business. And look, I don't need on my conscience what you may do with something I create after these griffins are killed, right? So what I can sell you is I can sell you a kit to make your own. That's perfectly legal and above board. I just gotta verify, your identity, and that's how I can sell it to you. That's all. Just gotta see who you are, real quick paperwork, and I can sell you a kit to make your own. And then whatever you make is on your conscience, rather than mine. Does that work better for you?
Timothy will nod.
Okay.
And yes, that will work very well, I think.
Alright, let's see that Denti. So he wants to see your identification. You have identification in your inventory. This is basically, everybody gets one. You're issued one when you're born, or if you immigrate into the country. It's card stock. Sometimes it's metal. Depends on what your position is. For the military, they're metal. And for nobility, they're a different kind of metal. They're made of silver and they're etched. You have a silver one.
So I will take out my identity and then put it on the counter as I take my hood off.
Okay. He takes it, he reads it, says, okay. And he begins to fill out the paperwork for what he's selling you. Fills out a copy. He provides you with your identification back and the copy. And he says, okay, so this will cost you, and you've been paid already, Um, $50 writs. And you have 134 writs as of this morning.
Okay. Could I get you to perhaps throw in some herbs with the kit?
Go ahead and make a persuasion check. Oh, I will roll that persuasion check for you. Yes. Let's see here. Ooh, that was a natural 1. And he says, I'm trying to run a business.
Fair enough. I will pay him the 50 writs.
Okay. You pay him the writs. And you gain a poisoner's kit. Okay, and he says, got some supplies for you over here. And he lets you pick out some supplies. He kind of guides you a little bit. He says, for a paralytic, you're going to want these and some of these. For something to kill what you're looking for, we're talking about these over here. All controlled substances. But you've got your license in your hand there, and that's pretty much good enough for me to sell it to you. So you can buy enough supplies to make any number of potions from him. Depends on how much you want to make.
So I'd like to buy enough to make 4 or 5 paralytic potions.
Okay.
And then 2 or 3 poisonous potions.
Okay. That'll cost you another 10 writs.
Okay. And then I'd like to go up to the counter. And I was wondering if you could do me one last favor.
Sure.
I know that we have to fill out the proper forms and paperwork, but for accounting purposes on my side, is there any way I can get you to backdate this invoice, say, 14 days?
He says, what's in it for me for that?
I'm going to set 20 writs on the counter.
Okay, I'm going to make a persuasion check for you at advantage. He takes the cash. He says, pleasure doing business with you. Okay. And he backdates the paperwork a bit. He puts it back early last month.
Maybe on a previous visit that we might have sent some goods out to his establishment for.
Mm-hmm.
I will pack everything up and thank him for his business.
It says, thank you for yours. Stay safe out there.
Hmm.
Okay, so I've added those
So my
items.
next stop after him is to go... Yep. My next stop after him is to go into the town and kind of pay around for some information.
Okay. Yeah, you can go into town. Any particular district, or do you just want to hit them all day?
I'll just hit them all day.
Okay.
Give a couple of writs to maybe some of the more smart-looking street children to maybe tail around some of the guards or the Charyn family.
Okay, yeah, this will be another investigation check. It'll take you all day. What's the budget for it? How much total are you willing to spend?
How much do I have left?
You have 42 writs left, 16 silver pieces, or duke, or core, and 23 zinc or copper pieces left.
So all the zinc, all the silver, and about 18, 20 writ.
Okay.
Is my budget.
Okay. So I'm going to roll this investigation check for you. The higher the number, the less money you have to spend, and the faster you get results, okay? Because you're paying, and you're paying the street children, you're going to get advantage on the roll. You have a -1. Do you have a particular target in mind, or is it any one of them?
Any one of them right now, but if one is in a less guarded area, which I think, let me grab my notes real quick. I think, let's see. I think the Sophia district with Deves is probably the less guarded than the tower.
Okay.
So I'll probably focus my investigation in the Sophia district.
Okay. So you got a 12. Not terrible. Not super great. The street kids kind of fleece you a bit more because they're going into Sophia District, which is basically a gated community. You give them a idea of what kind of heraldry to look for, stuff with eagles on it. Easy enough for them to figure out. This will take them all day. You're basically done till sundown once I give you this information. Valentin is unapproachable. He scares the living bejesus out of these kids, even at a distance. Even if he doesn't seem to have noticed them, he scares the bejesus out of them. So they won't get close to him, but they've noticed that he goes to and from Sophia District and the castle quite often. And he will also... They've managed to tail him to the boarding house once, just outside of town. They have not laid eyes on Deves. They have not laid eyes on Nikolai.
So whenever he goes to the boarding house instead of doing, was it like a particular time that he would?
This was the second place he went to this morning. So he went to the castle first, came back to the Sophia District, and then left Sophia District maybe an hour later, around noon, to the boarding house, and then came back.
Did he go alone?
Yeah, he went alone. But it was not, like I said, they did not approach him.
Mm-hmm. I'll pay one of the kids, if I can, to hang around the boarding house just to keep an eye and see if he comes back.
Sure. Okay. So all of the gold will get paid out, but about half the silver will get paid out, and you'll still have some copper left from that. Because it wasn't super effective. They didn't keep coming back asking for more, and Valentin scared them enough that they weren't willing to do anything daring. which would have eaten more of your budget, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'll take you out to the evening. Okay. Rest of the party, unless you have something else here that you want to mention real quick.
No, I guess I'll stick back to the inn, where I'll be kind of working on some tinctures and potions while I wait for the kids and while I'm spending the rest of the evening there.
Okay. Do you want to go back to the Serpent's Head, or do you want to go to the boarding house where you told you'd meet the rest of the party if you would meet them again?
I'll go to the boarding house.
Okay.
That way I can just kind of work there.
All right. Okay. The rest of the party. We're going to cut back to you guys. Are you guys done your shopping?
Yep.
Okay. And do you want to make that detour up to Keevan's? For the alchemy?
Gavi?
Yeah, so the goal of that was to look for healing potions.
Okay.
Because James is without his sword.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to try to help his defenses a little bit.
Yep.
Or at the least, get a healing potion.
Yeah. So you guys arrive at Keevan's. Did you have something to add, Cynthia?
Healing potions are always good.
Yeah. You guys arrive at Keevan's. It's the same place that I described before, with the long hedgerows of herbs and the dark slate roof and the little chimney puffing out smoke and the fully stone building. Right. You guys can make nature checks for me, and if you'd like, as you're walking down the path here.
Okay. Give me a second. Well, that was stupidly lame.
Vera, you recognize some of these plants to be exceedingly poisonous. To touch, to get too close to. There's a plant that is off to the side, that is roped off, that you recognize as a snapdragon. Not like your fun snapdragon flower. It's a totally different thing. So there's the snapdragon flower type, and then there is the snapdragon plant monster that is prolific in Cruelty. They're like a frickin' weed. They're everywhere, and they're man-eaters. And he's got one roped off to the side, kind of like near the building, but it looks like it's stuck where it is. And every once in a while, you see this plant like shift and move and whip its vines around. Then you reach the building.
I'll as we're walking, I'll instinctively walk on that side. You know how when you're walking down the street and the man they'll be on the side where the car may put water up.
Yeah.
I'll do that kind of thing of just
without
really saying it, I put myself closer to it.
Yeah, you put yourself between it and the rest of the party.
Yep. And then, sorry, dogs. I'll say, don't put any of this on your tongue.
Okay. You guys arrive at Keevan's. You open up the door, and he pops his head up from some chemical he's got brewing behind the counter. He says, 2 sets of customers in one day. I'm a lucky man. What can I help you all with? And he has... I've opened up his shop for you guys to peruse at your leisure. However, you can converse with him as much as you like.
I'm going to go shopping. There it is. Keevan's Chemical Wonders.
Yeah, I did just want to look at it as well. I'll walk up and talk as well while we're perusing. I'll say, got some interesting flora out there.
You talking about the snapdragon I got over there?
Among other things.
Yeah, so
But yeah, that one in particular.
the snapdragon has interesting properties if you can manage to get close enough to it. Now, they are part of the growth cycle of the dragon fruit tree. So, to harness certain of properties that the fruit gives, but before it becomes fully ripe, you can actually create a myriad of reagents from the snapdragon plant before it gets that mature. They take a lot of cultivating, and they're a real pain in the ass. I'm learning from the local farm for that. Norobo, they're down the way, and he kind of points at the property next to the one that he's on. It's this one over here with all the trees. They are phenomenal dragon fruit cultivators. I bought this snapdragon from them, and this one's got a personality to it. It's real rude. They have a real hunger for flesh and blood, but they don't need it. It's wild. You can just water them and give them sunlight all day, and they'll be fine. They'll grow fine. But as soon as you start feeding them flesh and blood, they start getting crazy big. And he says, "What are you guys in the market for?"
Oh well, specifically, we're here for more the helpful type. Do you happen to have any healing potions in stock?
Ooh, you're asking at the wrong time of the year, my friend. I have just been cleaned out by the military.
Of course.
I can make some, but they've cleaned me out.
How long would it take you to make some?
It takes about one a day, just because you have to make sure that you have everything right. If not everything's right, you wind up throwing up because of the chemicals that go into it. It's a purely herbalistic compound. Anything stronger than the basic kind, however, gets infused with magic. I have a little bit of magic that I can do that with, but for anything stronger than like a low tier healing potion, not quite the basic, but low tier, we'd need to find a mage for, and it gets more expensive because they're rare. So I have about 4 burners open right now. I can make a few, have them done for you tomorrow, but that'll be the only thing I'll be able to make for anyone for 24 hours. So I've got, I'm gonna have to charge you a little bit extra just to make up for potential loss of another customer coming in and wanting something. Does that make sense? So if you want them, I can make them for you. You'll be able to pick them up this time tomorrow.
And how much?
So they run about 50 Rits a flask. Flask is about this big, and he shows you one. This will save you from the brink of death. You can also pour it in open wounds. You can drink it. You can throw it on somebody. It's not that super effective when you throw it on them, but you can do that. I've seen it heal a cut. But and you all look like the fighting type. If you're hunting monsters or that kind of thing, and a monster cuts open one of your friends, you can pour it in the wound if that's faster, and that should do the job. So they're about 50 Rits a pop.
You said you could make 4?
Can make up to 4 right now, and I'll charge 10% extra just in case of loss of business.
I'll turn to Reanne. I think it's worth waiting a day. We could also try to gather more information in the meantime.
I agree. I don't like it, but I agree.
It says, all right, so 4 then? 4 basics?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll cover it.
I'll get started on those. That's 220 writs. And pleasure doing business. Pick them up tomorrow. Uh, here's a receipt, and he's going to write you guys a receipt.
Okay.
Before we leave, Game Master, I just bought healing kits. Are there any supplies I need for the kits?
No, the
Or do
kit.
they come preloaded?
The kits come preloaded. So you bought the kit. It comes preloaded with everything you need, bandages, that sort of stuff, to help out. And yeah, pretty useful item, the healer's kit.
That's why I picked up several.
How many did you want to buy?
I already bought them.
Yeah, it looks like you bought one, so.
I thought I bought 4.
No, it's showing me that you bought one.
Well, shame on you.
Maybe he only had one for sale. He only had
That
one.
might be.
He only had one for sale. That's why.
Okay.
So the kit has 10 uses. It basically just stabilizes somebody without needing a medicine check.
Okay, fair enough. I will take that. That's a useful thing to have.
Yeah, basic medic stuff, super useful to have. It says, pleasure doing business with you all. If you guys don't pick it up tomorrow, is there somewhere I should send them? Or should I keep them here?
The boarding house?
Can send them to the boarding house. They're right down the street.
Yep.
Cool. I'll do that.
Okay.
And he gets your name, Vera, because you paid for it. So he can send it to the boarding house if you guys don't pick it up tomorrow.
Solid.
Okay.
And it's evening now, isn't it?
It is about 1 p.m. It's in the afternoon now.
Okay.
For you.
Well, for us. I have arranged, since we're going to be here for a little bit longer than originally planned, I arranged for horses for Timothy and James. They should be at the boarding house.
Okay. Well, horses
With supplies.
will be at the boarding house.
Yeah. No, I'm telling Raven.
Mm.
I'm telling James this.
Okay.
You got a very nice horse. It's named Ruffles.
That's a nice name. Thanks.
You're welcome. I hope you know how to ride.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to learn.
We gonna learn today.
Did we move Dusty and Chamomile to the boarding house because were they at the Serpent's Head?
They were at the Serpent's Head, but if you want them moved to the boarding house, you can have them moved.
Okay. I don't remember where the base of operations was. Sorry.
We haven't been to the boarding house yet.
So so Serpent's Head is in the city. Boarding house is outside the city. Just outside the city. It's the more popular place people stay. It's also where Timothy said he would meet you guys.
That's why I was operating under that one. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You want to go there now?
Is there any other shopping we need to do? Weapons picking up, anything like that?
Fine.
No, I mean, the only other thing I can think to do is to listen out for news. I may meet you there around dinner, because I think what Vera might do is just casually walk around and kind of listen to what people are saying.
No. Reanne will probably go to the sporting house, and because she needs to draft the letter to get sent to her nephew.
Okay. So you head to the boarding house. James, what are you gonna do?
James is going to try to get some good lunch.
Good lunch. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Goes to get some good lunch. You can get it in a number of places. Street food. There's street food. There's crickets. There's Serpent's Head. There's the boarding house. Plenty of places to get food. Um, if you're talking street food's going to be cheap. Tavern food is going to be a little bit more expensive. And crickets is crickets.
He's gonna try some of the local street food.
Okay. That'll cost you 5 copper to feed yourself and get some local street food. It's mainly like these little shish kebabs of salamander beef cubes and pickled dragon fruit and some vegetables, like a chunk of potato and that kind of stuff. Okay. And Vera, you're gonna wander town and listen for more information.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to be as nondescript as possible.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what she's doing. She'll probably have followed James for a while first,
Mm-hmm.
because we are supposed to be watching him.
Okay.
And then after a while, when he's done lunch, and I don't know what he's doing after, but
You head back to the boarding house. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check,
okay.
and then you can roll me your investigation because you said you wanted to be pretty stealthy.
Mm-hmm. Dirty 20 for the stealth. Not great for investigation.
No, not great for investigation. I thought I had this loaded. Okay.
If I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of information, the other thing that I might try to do, if you'll let me, is just kind of see where people seem to be congregating
Mm-hmm.
during the days, like finding then the spots that I would want to frequent later. Like,
Okay.
obviously bars. Is there a lot of people around the market? Where does the gossip happen if I'm not getting specifics?
Yeah, I think for this check, this is mainly what you discover. You figure out people spend a lot of time around the main thoroughfare. So those are the cobblestone streets of Sorath. They come and go inside of the neighborhoods as necessary, but they spend most of their time around the main thoroughfares. That's where all the street food is and the street vendors are. Outside of that, they go to the bathhouse on a regular basis. Seems to be quite a few people go in and out of that place. The building looks weird compared to the other buildings. It's totally different style of architecture than the rest of the buildings here in Sorath. It's almost like flat stones, fully solid walls. So either it was carved from one large hunk of stone, or it's got some kind of like plaster or stucco covering the entirety of it, and it's got like this glass dome over the top of it. It's this tinted blue, and it's just this flat structure. Well, more or less flat, but it's kind of like it looks. Best way to say is it looks like a Tetris block that is 3-tiered. It goes up like steps and sort of is fully sloped. It's a right triangle is what it is, and it's got a dome on it. And it just looks strange in comparison to the rest of the buildings. You don't know like what nationality built this, but this building's been here for a very long time.
I'll clock the description and probably tell it to Reanne later and see if she recalls anything.
Yeah. Okay. Let me finish loading this real quick. just do that. Click that real quick and save. Yes. And we don't need all of those. We don't need all of those. None of those. Okay. So on the streets here, I just want to confirm one thing. Raven, when you're done getting lunch, where do you go?
He's just going to wander the streets a bit.
Okay. So he wanders the streets, but I'll say you guys are together then for this. Not together, but she's more of a keeping an eye on you kind of together. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have this map prepared for whatever reason, and I thought I did, and I'm just drawing walls right now. So, real quick. So, just to describe to you what you guys see, it's a street where the regular residential street here in Sorath. It's got a pillar in the center of it where the streets cross, and then it's about 5 houses in total. One has a garden, a large garden, and there's a dog running towards you guys that's being chased by a man. The man is dressed in these blood red clothes, and he's got some black clothes kind of under it as well. He's got this weird look in his eye as he's running after this dog. And let me just finish drawing this one here. Just a little bit of clicking. Just a little bit of clicking. I thought I had this done. I apologize.
The man is chasing after the dog, or the dog is chasing
Yeah,
after the man?
the
Okay,
man is
that's
chasing
weird.
after the dog. That's
Is
weird.
there anything to determine why?
Make a perception check for me. I'm almost done.
Like, why you be chasing dogs? Don't do that.
You know, you'd get it if the dog was chasing him. The dog's got something in his mouth. And he's chasing after it, but he, you notice more, not really what he's got in the dog. You don't really notice as much about the dog than the man's got his sword out and he's like brandishing it. Okay, now I think we're
How
ready.
far away are they?
Hold on a second. You'll find out in just a moment.
Great.
This is Vera. So you're being very stealthy right now. And this here is going to be James. James, you're right there. Good for you. And then...
Nothing like a good party split encounter.
Mm-hmm. Here's our good boy. And I'm going to show you guys what you're looking at. Yeah, I don't own any tokens with vision in this scene. There we go. Alright, so Reanne, Vera, you're here.
Reanne is not there.
Reanne's not there. I got the dog on the field, and hold on, I got one more person to put on the field. Here. There's this guy. Okay.
Hold on. Where am I? I don't see myself.
You're here.
Mm,
See my pings? That's where you are.
I see your ping, but I can't see me. It's dark. I'm guessing walls.
Yeah, there's some walls. Oh, it's dark? Oh, hold on, let me did that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it. I see me.
Okay, so you can, from where you're standing, you can see the dog being chased by the man. Here's the man.
Okay.
Here's the dog. There's James. And I'm going to go ahead and switch this to initiative real quick. Okay, everybody roll. Well, no, just James and Veracasa roll initiative. Okay. Veracasa,
Okay.
you are first.
Huh. And the impression I get is this dog is not rabid. The man looks a little weird. The dog has something in its mouth, right?
Yep.
Okay, and he has a sword brandished.
Yes. He has a. You're looking at it. The sword is curved. Kind of reminds you a little bit of Cheyenne blades, but it looks like it's got some unnecessary jaggedness to it. Like, it's not made just to kill, it's made to maim, too, and cause pain.
Can I... I'm a little far away. I'm gonna move out.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna actually hold my action. And I'm gonna wait to see if this man makes any actual move to strike the dog.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna throw a javelin at his hand.
Okay. I'm clearing your hidden status because you stepped
That's
into
fine.
the open.
That's fine.
Okay. So you're prepping to throw a javelin at this guy here, if he makes a move to harm the dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I don't want to misconstrue the scene. I'm first. I'll probably actually, with me moving out, I'll even say like, halt what's happening here, because military, and then I'll kind of just go to pull at my javelin to be ready in case he's not listening.
Okay. So you say halt. Do you identify yourself as military?
No, not at this point. I'm
Okay.
just a concerned civilian.
Okay. Let me see. Let me just check something real quick. He's gonna make a check. Okay. He's gonna take his turn now. So he's moving after the dog. He's kind of catching up to it a little bit. And dashing will get him here. James, your turn.
I can hear and see around me, of course. What direction am I facing?
You are heading this way, towards the east, towards the right.
All right.
Come on down.
Would I know that Vera is talking to the red cloaked person? Or could I also assume it is against me?
You could assume either way. You're not entirely sure if she means you or if she means the red clothes person. You're probably a little surprised that she's there.
Okay. In that case, I'm just gonna stand completely still with my... What's the custom? With my hands raised up?
Sure, yeah.
like to show that I don't have any weapons on hand.
Okay, yeah, you put your hands up. And you stand still.
Sure.
Bork, 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 bork. The dog's gonna run, but as he's running, the cultist is gonna make a opportunity attack at him.
But he's not, because then I'm gonna shoot.
Yep.
I'm gonna do my javelin.
Okay, you throw your javelin.
Alright.
This guy is about 100 feet away. Let's see.
Is that within...
It's within 120 feet, so you can throw it at disadvantage.
Okay, I don't love that. Is it bringing up the attack? There we go.
17. Yeah, you hit him. Okay. Roll damage for me. 9.
Perfect.
Okay. Are you intending to kill him with this blow, or just, are you not, or just non-lethal?
I originally said that I would release it. I'm aiming for his hand to make him drop his sword if he goes to attack the dog. So at this point, probably not.
Okay, no, so non-lethal. Okay, so you throw the javelin at him. The javelin hits him, it cuts into his arm, mangles him. He drops the weapon before he can attack, and he passes out immediately and goes into shock.
Okay. Can I try to get the dog or calm the dog down?
Okay, yeah, so it's the dog's turn. The dog is going to run 40 feet. He's going to bork, 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 bork. He's got something in his mouth, and he's going to dash another 40 feet. He's getting kind of close to you. We come back to your turn, Vera.
Oh, okay. I guess I'd like to use my action to try to
Handle the animal.
handle the animal.
Okay.
I'll move forward.
Make a animal handling check. Is there anything you want to do to kind of like boost this?
I don't know if you'll let me do this, but my rage is based on totem warrior, which is based more on the natural world, and I believe I picked the wolf.
You did.
So I think what I would do is turn on my rage, but only just so my eyes change. And so the dog may recognize a little bit of something familiar in this look that I'm trying to make calm. It's not actual rage, it's just hopefully familiar.
Okay. Yeah, if you burn a use of your rage,
Yep, I will do that. That's fine.
I will let you roll this at an advantage.
Okay.
Does that make some level of sense to me? It's interesting. Good roll. So you do this, you do the thing where you kind of get down on his level. He gets right up to you. And kind of like rubs into you, drops what he's got in his mouth, and kind of rolls over and wants you to pet his belly.
Yeah, I know all of these signs. I'll take care of that. I will reach towards what he dropped.
Okay. He's got an amulet in his. He had an amulet of some kind. Looks different and interesting. It's wrought of some kind of like dark iron or something very crude.
Oof, don't love that. I'm gonna wrap that up with some sort of rags.
Okay. Pick it up. You wrap it up with some rags. You put it in your pocket. He barks. Woo!
I'll keep petting. I secretly want a dog companion, but it will not work in, in this setting.
He's not dead. I'm just.
And I'll say to James, you can put down your hands. I was not talking to you. I
James,
apologize if I frightened. I followed to make
James,
sure you were okay.
James slowly lowers his hands, still unsure what the hell just happened.
This guy over here is bleeding quietly on the ground.
James
Gush,
will walk
gush,
over.
gush.
Okay, you
Will
want.
walk over to the guy.
Okay. You walk over to him. What do you want to do?
Would I know how much time he would have left so I
Mm.
can maybe bind him?
He's gotten. I mean, it's just his arm, so he's not. Looks like he's in any danger of actually dying, unless he just dies from shock. Um, he's got the javelin in his lower arm, so that's where the radius and ulna are. It's probably lodged between the two bones. You could pull that out and bind his wound pretty easily with some cloth. He's like I said before. Now that you're pretty close to him, I want you to roll a perception check for me while you're doing that, while you're binding his wound.
Because I wasn't going to bind his wound because
Oh.
I have to spell cure wounds.
Oh, okay. You can do that if you want him to wake up.
That's why I wanted to ask if I can bind him, like,
You want to tie him up? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now, if you got rope?
I was checking, and no, unfortunately not. Why
You,
do I not have a rope?
you might want to check to see if your companion over there has rope.
You got any rope?
I do. And I will give this dog one last little belly scritch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will move.
Okay.
Did he have a collar or anything, or was he just a stray?
He was just a city stray
Okay.
who follows you.
Oh, yay. And I will hand you my rope. Actually, I'll probably do it.
Okay. It's a sleight of hand to bind someone. So if you want to figure out who between the two of you has the better score, I'll let you do that.
I have a +2 for sleight of hand.
Okay. So, but if you focus on binding him, tying him up, then I can focus on.
Okay. Do I get advantage or anything? Because like being from the military, I probably know how to tie really good knots.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Could try that.
I mean, are you sure?
Positive. Okay, so you got this guy tied up.
Okay.
We're gonna go to just the city map real quick so I can clear that.
Before you cure wounds, I will pull my saber out.
Ham.
And I will be digging it into his back.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so you want to cast Cure Wounds now, Raven? Or do you want to roll that perception check first?
James is gonna hype himself up because none of his magic has worked so far, so let's give this a shot for once.
Okay.
I cannot target something, so I just roll.
Yep. And then 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Yeah, which comes out to 7.
Okay, so you
Total.
heal his cut, and you kind of and he shifts a bit, and then he notices that he's tied up, and he looks at the two of you. He's trying to figure the two of you out.
Who are you? Why were you chasing after this dog?
Stole something from me.
I mean, that seems like an excessive response to something being stolen.
It's just a mangy dog.
No, you don't need to be rude about it. Why does it matter so much?
It matters to me, not you. What does it matter to you that it matters to me?
It matters to me because you were going after an innocent dog.
It was a gift from my master. Can I have it back now? Can you let me go?
Can I ask something? Outside of the conversation, just
To the GM, yeah.
yeah. Have I seen this garb before? Did I get anything off of the amulet? I knew it looked crude, but am I getting the heebie and the jeebies?
Okay, roll for heebie-jeebies. This is sort of a sanity check. I'm going to call this a sensitivity check.
Okay.
So roll sanity on this.
All right. Now remind me, because this is my first time doing sanity.
Mm-hmm.
What am I rolling?
You roll the actual attributes, so sanity.
Okay.
Underneath your charisma and honor score.
Okay.
It's not the saving throws. You're not in any danger of losing any points.
I'm not getting
Should get a
You said it's underneath honor?
Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. You might have to
yeah, I had to switch. Okay, so and you said it's an ability check?
do the ability check for me.
Okay. And normal?
Mm-hmm.
Did it work?
It did work. I saw that you rolled a 2.
Oh, that's not great.
I don't know if it logged it.
I didn't see it. Nothing came up for me.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Uh-huh. Let's try that again. One more. Okay. It doesn't always take the sanity checks, it seems. Okay, that's super Oh, they're a little bit behind. Okay. Roll that for me again because it's not in the log.
Okay.
You didn't want that result anyway.
I still can't see it.
That was a little better. Okay. We're going to give that
It was a 4.
Yeah, I did see that 4. Okay.
Maybe I need to refresh because I'm not getting anything.
That might be it. You might need to refresh.
All right. Anyway, hit me with your best shot.
Okay, so there's some things that are off about this guy. But the only thing that really is giving you the heebie-jeebies is that he seems religious.
Okay.
And that's out of the ordinary here in Cruelty. He's wearing clothes that aren't the normal fashion at the time. He's got, a little bit of that sort of veneer of zealotry going on with him. You can roll an insight check if you would like to see more about him specifically. Heebie-jeebies notwithstanding.
The dog is still next to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I will do the insight check, and I want to just say I didn't see anything in the dog's mouth, and just see how he responds to it.
Okay. That would also be a deception check.
That's fine. At some point, I'm gonna stop rolling.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
Quick,
do deception first.
quick question in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were the ritual spells still 10 minutes?
Ritual spells are generally 10 minutes, yeah.
Alright.
Gabby, you need new dice.
I know, I'm not doing very well.
He just seems like a little bit of a religious nut. You're not really sure
Okay.
anything else about him. He is really hostile in body language right now, probably because you have him tied up. He says, "I don't buy it. I know I saw that dog with my property. I'm not calling you a liar, but the dog had it last I saw."
Well, it possibly could be around here somewhere, but he doesn't have it now.
Maybe he ate it.
You roll a persuasion check, because as far as you know, he could have eaten it. As far as you know, James.
Persuasion, right?
Persuasion.
We should
What-
not be at this encounter.
Let me see something.
No,
real quick.
no fooling. Neither of you should be in this encounter.
It says, somehow I doubt that. If he did eat it, though, I'd like to have him so I can retrieve
You're not
it.
touching this dog.
All right.
You may go about your business, but you cannot have this dog. And I, because of the situation, I haven't clocked anything. I'll just...
Let him go.
I mean, James, what do you think?
Well, James still owes me a perception check.
Perception.
For now, I'm just turning my attention back to this dog that clearly loves me.
Aside from his garb, you do notice that his eyes seem a bit off. They're not quite right. He doesn't look directly at you when he speaks. He kind of looks a little bit to the side, as if he's not trying to meet your gaze. But you catch it once, and his eyes, the pupils, seem to be the wrong shape.
James will make a mental note of that. And to the response of the question, what do you think, James? He's gonna respond with, we can ask a dog.
I mean, I always trust a dog's response. So I'll, I don't know, turn to our new dog friend, and I'll ask him. I'll just kind of like gesture to this man that has my sword, pushed up against him. See what the dog does.
Okay. I believe James was indicating that he would cast Speak with Animals as a ritual. And
Yeah, I have several spells that I can cast as ritual. Speak with Animals is one of them.
I mean, you're
But I
welcome
can
to do
also-
that, but also...
I can also quick cast it as an action using a spell slot. So
Ah, I
Well-
mean,
well,
could be of the better. Can I still ritual cast even though I have no spell slots left?
yes.
Then I will ritual cast Speak with Animals. Regular cast.
Okay. You regular cast Speak with Animals, and the dog's been quietly whining here while you've been talking to this guy. And he keeps he's sitting, and he keeps looking up at Vera, and then looking at you, and looking at Vera, and looks at the man, gives him the mean face, looks back at Vera, and you hear him saying, "He's a bad man. He's not a good man. He's a bad man. I took his thingy because he's a bad man."
That's so cute.
You hear James speak fluently dog. I'm not gonna let magic do it. I'm gonna let James speak dog. Asking why he's Batman.
He's a bad man. He's got the wrong vibe. He's got the wrong energy. Everybody else has normal, but there's something wrong with him. There's something evil about him.
He smells wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he smells wrong.
Or now James talks common again. Our little friend here says that our little criminal, like for a better word, something is off about his vibe.
Who are you gonna believe? A bloody ass dog or a man? And he looks at the dog. He says, "You're a liar." Dog looks.
Can I re-insight with more information available?
Sure. Do you want more insight or do you want more heebie-jeebies?
More heebie-jeebies.
Okay. Roll a heebie-jeebie check.
Sanity again?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need just an official heebie-jeebies.
Oh, hey, it actually rolled this time.
There you go, 7.
Nice.
Yeah. The DC got lower with the conversation with the dog, and you definitely feel there's something wrong about him. And
Okay.
He looks up and he matches your gaze, and he's human. Everything about him is human, but his eyes are narrow like cat slits. There's some kind of magic that is at work with him.
Okay. I think with that, I would just skewer him.
Okay. Yeah, make an attack roll at advantage because he's restrained.
Inventory.
Nope, that goes my cure wounds.
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry.
It happened. For the plot.
Fuck.
Yes. Nice.
That's a crit. Crit damage,
Yeah.
please. I just want to see how high your crit goes. 21. So you skewer him.
Damn.
Did I say as he's gone,
Damn.
as the light fades from his cat slit eyes, I always trust the dog.
And he says in reply, "For the dark gods." And then he dies. As you pull your blade free from him, his blood is black.
Ugh.
Does the dog say anything?
He says, he kind of like cows, kind of makes himself smaller and steps behind Vera to hide. And he says, "I knew he was evil."
James is gonna say something back in dog. It's okay, buddy. He's gone now.
I'll reach down and pet his head. I don't know what's being said. But I'll do a good dog.
Mm-hmm. Wags his tail.
I want this dog. We're gonna have a dog now. It's our 5th member of the party.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys leave this. Do you leave him here, or what do you guys do?
I will absolutely leave him here. I will say to James, you're welcome to meet up with the others. I'm gonna clean up here, and I will report it to the closest soldier.
Okay.
And turn in this amulet.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just gonna handle the the police force, the legalese and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, you handle that. You go find the nearest soldier. You bring him over to the body. He takes notes. He has someone else come by. They take the body away. They give you a card. Basically says, "Thank you for reporting a crime. You are a good citizen. You can turn this in to any shop, and they will give you a free X. It incentivizes citizens to report crime."
I mean, that's not why I did it.
But yeah, but
I
he's
also don't trust this amulet.
He's got to give you something. It's protocol. It's all that kind of stuff. You walk away. James, you head to the boarding house.
Yeah, I talk a little bit to the dog more.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure that the dog is okay, and then I head back to the boarding house.
Okay. Move all of us over here. All right. So Vera, you got here, or not Vera, Reanne, you got here after Timothy has. So Timothy's been here for a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the general description. I'm going to put you on the map. You arrive here after the alchemy shop. You're walking along. There's a couple of members of the regular patrol out here, members of the garrison. Is there a hole in that frickin' wall? Oh no, you just moved so fast that you saw the saw through the windows. Okay. These windows are a little bit broken. So, okay. You see a couple of kids out here playing in the grass. There's a couple of guys over here. As you walk up to this building, it's new construction, so it's only a couple of years old. The corners of the building are stone. The rest of it's full, like, wood and plaster kind of construction. Looks nice. You definitely can tell made fast, cheap. Thing's a tinderbox. You walk up to the place. It's got a nice facade, nice windows. They're all frosted or glazed. And as you enter the building, I'm just gonna kind of pilot you here for a second.
Okay.
You enter the building here, and there's a couple people in this nice cozy room here. A woman behind the desk kind of sits up. She's got red hair. She looks at you and says, "Welcome to the Sorath boarding house. How can I help you?" And this woman over here has got her head in a book at the moment.
Okay. I believe my companions took some rooms here. Vera. Does that ring any bells?
Not sure. Let me look at the book. And she's looking through her book. No one has booked any rooms for you or any of your party, I suppose, but we do have plenty of rooms available if you'd like to book some rooms.
I would like to book 2 rooms with 2 beds each.
Okay, we do have double rooms. We can book 2 rooms for you. No problem at all. That would be a total of 4 silver per night. If you want to stay a week, it's less.
I just need the rooms for tonight and boarding for horses.
Boarding for horses. Okay. Boarding for horses includes feed. That's 8 silver per horse. So that'll be how many horses?
4.
Okay. So that's 36 silver, please.
I give her 36 silver.
Okay. Hand over 36 silver. She says, to the left here, to your left here, is our general tavern and general room. It's our... And you see, as you look left, there's Timothy at a table already. And he's messing with some stuff. And there's another woman here. You do see that looks like a nicely appointed tavern area. I know are we a little over, or were we going to 8:30? What was the thing? Sorry. How, Raven, how good are you for continuing?
I'm doing pretty fine.
You're doing pretty fine? Okay. We'll keep going for a little bit more. You see Timothy there. He's busy. He looks very busy. Since his player has had to dip, we're gonna say he's cordial, but a little busy to talk. If you want to talk to him, she says you're free to use the room. Meal and drink is part of what we do here. You don't have to purchase anything extra. It's all included. Okay.
Excellent. Very good to know.
Okay.
I go over to Timothy because he doesn't know he has a horse yet.
Okay. You inform him he has a horse?
Timothy, you now have a horse. Its name is Jonathan. So we will be leaving early, I think, tomorrow. Depends on when we get the potions.
Okay. He thanks you. He acknowledges. He asks you what he owes, and he says he'll pay you back when he can. No. Okay.
It's just... This is just what we need to do. I'm going to... I'm pretty sure I've got some paper and pens, writing supplies. If I don't, I'm sure I can find some.
Mm-hmm.
And start working on a letter to Skalgar.
Okay. So do you want to sit at the same table he's at?
Sure.
Okay. There are a couple of other characters in here. There's a middle to elderly man. Actually, now that you look at him, he's elderly. He's sitting there by himself. He's in well-dressed clothing, and he looks a little frail. There's a younger man over here. He's got some paint on his smock. He's got a pronounced acid scar on the left side of his face. He's got, as you look at him, he's got more colors on his clothes than his clothes are. And he kind of, seems to squint oddly as he looks about the room there. This woman across the room from you, she kind of sneers a little bit as she becomes distracted from her work. The beautiful fiddle rests on the table that she's sitting at, and her quill dances along across the pages of her book as she records what look like musical notes.
Can I roll insight on all of them?
Sure, yeah, you can roll insight on all of them.
Individually or one group?
You can do it as a group, if you would like.
Sure. Oh, for Mike's sake. Well, that's still not too bad.
Okay, that beats her, that beats the young man, and that beats the... Does it beat the older man? Yes, it does. Okay. Yeah, so she is just a little upset that that your coming kind of disrupted her thought process, and she's gone back to just thinking and working. She seems okay. She seems like a normal person, just an artist who got distracted. This man over here is regarding the room as if he's trying to copy it in his mind. He's trying to remember or retain all of the details of this room. And this...
Usual artists.
Yeah, and this elderly gentleman, you're now recognizing that he is a noble of some sort. You don't know him. You don't recognize him. So he must be a minor noble, because you would recognize a duke or a duchess or something like that. But he's a minor noble. He's got a jeweled short sword, and he seems to just be here for some purpose. He's a little more hard to read than the others. You get that he's here for a purpose, but you're not sure what it is at the moment.
Okay. But it's nothing that I should. Doesn't make the back of my neck stand up.
Not really. No.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm going to take paper and pencil and work on the letter.
Mm-hmm.
And keep an eye on Timothy and the others and think about food.
Okay. There are a couple servants that are in and out of the kitchen over here. Here's the other one so you can see her. They are in and out of the kitchen serving food and drink as necessary. As that comes to a close, a couple hours go by and the other two of our number arrive. Vera and James, I'm going to drop you right outside the front door here.
Would I be a little after just because I stayed to...
Yeah. You're right.
So, replace me instead with the dog.
Okay, the dog. Well,
I think we've picked up a dog.
it seems that way. Let me grab the dog again. And I'll get a custom token for the dog soon.
Yay.
Didn't expect.
Out of game question. How long does speak to animals last?
It lasts
10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. So it would have taken you more than 10 minutes to get to the boarding house. That's okay. He was personable. He was a nice dog.
I was say, should have asked his name. I mean, don't be rude.
And he says, "Oh, I don't have a name. No one's given me a name."
What name would you want?
I think Vera's going to fix that one.
I don't. And then the spell kicks out, and he's rah, 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 rah.
Work, 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 work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So James, you arrive outside the building here. The dog is kind of hopping around a little bit. You want to go inside?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Oh, hello, puppy. What can I do for you? I'm Sonia Harding. I am the operator of this establishment.
Do I see James come in?
He's kind of behind you, but you probably notice him coming in with a dog. Because she spoke up and introduced herself loudly. I'll have to
James.
fix all these windows. Oh, is that over there? Is that one of your people? She says, pointing at Reanne there.
James waves at her and says to Sonia,
Yeah.
those are my companions.
All right. Your rooms are already paid for, and as are space for your horses. Feel free to have food and drink. It's taken care of already. All right.
All right. One more question.
Hmm.
Is our buddy here okay to stay with us? And he points at the dog.
Why wouldn't he be? You guys own him, right?
Say yes,
a little
Raven.
bit. It's a little bit too long of a quiet moment. I would say yes.
Okay. I'm not going to question that. I'm just going to let that go by. It's not worth the trouble. Yeah, if you're alleging that you own him, yes, absolutely. Just keep him under control. That's all we ask. The dog is
I
already
will.
moving into this room to sniff around. Just so many interesting smells in here. Sniff, 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 sniff.
James is going to sit in one of the chairs,
Okay.
and while he sits down, it seems we have a dog now.
Vera was involved with this, wasn't she?
It's a long story.
And Vera, it's a dog, and Vera, nah, just, just roll with it. It's okay.
And the worst part, I don't even know its name.
Well, oh, I know. Once upon a time, there were abilities to ask dogs' names, but I
Yeah,
don't know if that still works anymore.
I have a spell that can I can do that. It just takes some time to prepare, and I asked, but when he told me, the effects wore off.
Mhm. Generally, dogs will just roll with whatever name. I know better. This is a dog and Vera. Reanne is going to work on scritchling his ears.
Okay. So you just watched this dog go around, do a circuit around the room, find the bread, go up around the corner, steal a baguette off the row of baked goods here, and then kind of slink under this table to eat the bread.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of yeah,
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
have to pay for that.
yeah.
We'll pay for that. Although the tea is excellent here.
Yeah, you've got a nice cup of tea. It's one of the better varieties of teas. Let me see what we got here. Tea. I got all kinds of tea here. It's let's see. Some red spice tea from Southern Cruelty.
Sounds delicious.
Soothes the
Sounds
throat
delicious.
and the spirit. So we have some teas, some food. About 5 minutes after this conversation, Vera shows up. Hello, welcome to Sorath Boarding House. I'm Sonia Harding, the owner of the operator of this establishment. She kind of stutters over her words a little bit. And can I help you?
My parties. I'm good.
Ah, okay.
Ale.
They must be in there. Food and drink is on the house. You're already paid for.
Oh, thank you. No, come in. Drop into a chair.
Okay, you pull up a chair at the table with them.
I do want to check to see if the dog is male or female.
Okay. He's a boy.
He's a boy. All right. His
He's a
name
good
is
boy.
Mayhem.
Okay, you've named him Mayhem. Okay.
I
It
am
was
curious of
that or Cassidy, but Butch Cassidy doesn't really exist in this universe, so
Uh, get insurance. Don't let mayhem happen to you. Sorry, that's where my brain went when you named the dog Mayhem.
it's great, right? It's
Mhm.
perfect. He's such a thief.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
that.
So you have another dog, I see.
he found us. I
That's
didn't
how
find
it always
him.
happens, cousin. That's fine.
Long story though, cultist.
You have my attention.
Well, he's dead now, but our little thief here took something from him. Happened to be down the street that uh James and I were walking. You know what I always say? Always trust the dog.
Trust the dog, not the humans. Yes, I know.
Yes. So we took care of it, and there was an amulet. I turned it into um the garrison. Um, he said it was given to him by his master, and then when I skewered him, very dark gods, not great. Black blood.
Oh, wonderful. Did you happen to search the body?
No. There's no.
What did the amulet look like?
I describe it.
So it's a wrought iron amulet. You got a good look at it when you were picking it up. It looks like it had been like a bunch of nails melted together, and it looks sort of like a. It doesn't like form a shape of anything in particular. It's just like a rune of some kind. You describe the rune to her, and and make a religion check for me.
Religion or history?
Religion is more apt here. History is
Okay.
possible, but this is more. You will get more specific information from a successful religion check, but if you want just a general answer, I will allow history.
The thing is, I'm better at history than I am at a religion.
Mm-hmm.
I will go with history.
Okay. Okay, so 15. Pretty good. This describes the mark of Nehemeth or Nesenza, which is one of the dark gods, at the very top of the pantheon of the dark gods, right? So this is the dark pantheon's head god, to put it another more simple way. It's got the way that the way that the amulet was described, it kind of reminds you a little bit of one of the other gods as well. Some of the dark gods kind of move in tandem together in certain periods. So this one also, the way it's put together, kind of evokes Ka at the same time, which is another one of the dark gods. This amulet was, the religious symbol of this cultist, showing his devotion to both Nehemeth and Ka. Nehemeth
Okay, so
being the Darkbringer of order and war, and Ka being the Soulless Reborn, which is more or less the god over the undead, which is grave and war domains.
So the city watch soldiers should recognize this and know that they may have a minor cell on their hands.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, that's what you're thinking.
Okay.
They should recognize the symbology, or if they don't recognize the symbology, they will find someone who does, matter of time before it gets identified as a religious symbol for Nehemeth. And that will kind of put them a little bit on alert for more cult activity.
Good.
I mean, we could always swing by in the morning. I turned it into them, so if you know and want to check.
Well, it's one or two of the dark gods. So yeah, it never hurts to reinforce this because
You're talking openly, yeah?
quietly, but yeah.
Okay. This young lady comes over and kind of waits a moment while you're talking.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Hi, I'm Piper Halethorpe. And she reaches out her hand to introduce herself.
Do we shake here or bump knuckles or
Shake is
What?
fine. Shake is normal.
Okay. Okay, shake hands.
Okay, you shake hands with her. She says, "I am a scholar. I heard you talking about certain deities. I have a opportunity for you if you're adventurers. I'm thinking you're adventurers or mercenaries or something like that, right?
Or something like that.
Okay. So I have a research grant. I am a adjutant researcher with the Academy in Fordeath. I've been contracted to come down here and research the undead in the Sorath graveyard to kind of help us better understand our enemies so that when we come into contact with them under the direction of the Talian Crusade, we'll be able to better destroy them. Unfortunately, the governor insists that I go to the graveyard with an escort, and the garrison commander has insisted that he has no men to spare for such an endeavor. I've stayed here hoping that the situation would change so that I could continue with my research. If you were to escort me into the graveyard and perhaps into a crypt or two, dare I say, even the Undercity itself, I'd be willing to pay handsomely, as I have budget to spare for such expenses. I'll also happily help you identify any cultist artifacts that you need help with.
Well, personally, I cannot speak to all my companions. While I find your task to be a righteous and noble one, I fear I and my cousin, and I look to Vera, are on a more personal quest and must leave in the morning or soon after to continue.
Ah, I see. Well, if you return then, the offer is on the table. I can't do much from here, and I can't go back empty-handed.
Totally understandable.
And she goes and sits down at a table.
Sorry, GM, you gave me a task and I'm
I
kind
know.
of
I know. I know.
So, now, if the others want to stay and avail themselves to this, they can, but Reanne is going after Calvin.
Mm-hmm.
I get from the thundering silence that no one else is interested in it.
Well, no one has said anything yet, so I don't know what's going on with that. It's open scene for you guys.
Yeah, James doesn't want to break any rules and just get his sword back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of stuck with the ladies.
I mean, what do we know about which direction Calvin was heading? I think all we have heard is south and then west. Are there
Yes.
towns to the
That
west?
So to kind of illustrate, if you go back to the map, which you can do at any time, you don't have to stay on this scene. I can turn on not navigation for you, so you can come back here on the map of Sorath. Calvin saw him, or Elithal saw Calvin outside of the castle, Sorath Castle, right? At the intersection there. He also saw Calvin go south and then turn onto this road to the west. So he must have passed by crickets going towards the west. From a general Krunt standpoint, the only thing west is the duchies of northwest Krunt. So that's Charyn Duchy, the Hellinger Duchy, the Farlota Duchy, the Leata Duchy, etc. In Sorath, though, the only place of interest would be the graveyard. And you found just now an icon that has some relationship with the god of the undead. Minimal, but some.
So, do we keep hunting for Calvin, which is Reanne's view, or should we detour to the graveyard to see if that's where he went?
I mean, you two know him best.
Well, it makes me wonder if there's all this activity here in Sorath, and I'll kind of look a little guarded about what I'm saying. Maybe there's a reason Calvin came down this way. Maybe he isn't as far as we think. I mean, if it's just the
That,
duchies to the west, why would there's nothing there?
nothing that we know of.
That's true.
So, do you want to investigate the graveyard?
I think it may be worth at least seeing if anything's connected. I can't promise a crypt.
Or the Undercity?
Yeah, but I don't know. We could see if we can trace his footsteps a little bit, maybe see if anything catches our eye towards the west around the city. If he was walking, like I said, he may not be as far as we think.
That may be.
Maybe he's connected to all of this.
I don't know. I didn't think he'd be subsumed by the host either, but that's what has become. Out of game comment, the GM would not have dropped this on us if he'd not wanted us to go this direction, however.
Out of game comment. Your character is quite old. In comparison to
Yes.
most of the characters that are just even in the room with her right now, right?
Yep.
You've fought in wars against these kinds of entities before, at least once, and cultists for the dark gods tend to hide in shadowy places or places that align with their god's purposes. So I would say, even without needing necessarily to roll, Calvin may not have gone to the graveyard. You don't know for sure. But that cultist that Vera killed today probably has spent some time there.
Guard should hunt us down. They should do it correctly. Ree is going to be very torn between defending the people, which is, her main core driver, and going after Calvin, which defends the people and the country and is a family thing.
Yeah, definitely tearing. You do know that you do remember that when you're thinking about like the local guard should do what they're supposed to do, they are overtaxed, and the garrison itself is shifting to a war footing and a logistical footing at that. They're, helping facilitate moving men and material back and forth from Fordeth to Halcorth. That's what these two battalions are here for. Maintain security in the city, inside the city and its perimeter, and, make sure that the materials that are heading south get where they're supposed to. So and you heard from the Silver Knight Redgrass from Setrak, that they're not doing the external patrol. Setrak's the only ones doing an external patrol, and they're just doing patrol on the southwestern side now because they're not patrolling into the graveyard anymore after that patrol went missing, which he didn't admit to. Cara Doulahan admitted that a patrol went missing in the graveyard when you guys talked at lunch. Speaking of, about this time after you guys are done or having your conversation with Piper, Sonia comes in with a piece of paper in her hand. She says, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch all of your names. I have a letter here for someone. What are your names?"
Reanne Vidarista.
Okay, not who I'm looking for.
Who's the name?
I cannot say who has received a letter unless the person is here. It's against the rules, unfortunately. He says Timothy. It's not for a Timothy.
I'll say Vera Casa.
Here's your letter, ma'am, and she gives you a letter.
Okay.
That should be in your inventory now.
I will look.
She says, "Thank you. Sorry to interrupt your conversation." She goes back to her job.
Do
you want me to read it?
You said it's in my inventory?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it aloud for the benefit of the stream and everybody else?
I'll read it.
Okay.
Bronze Knight Avjinan, after speaking with you yesterday, I think you and your friends might be the only ones that could do this. Silver Knight Redgrass would never admit this to anyone, but there is a patrol missing. A squad of fresh recruits and their training sergeant went missing a few days ago on a routine patrol in the graveyard. The spotters at Ariane's drop lost track of them as there was a heavy storm and visibility was low. Likewise, no one on the wall of the city was able to see them either. I've inquired discreetly amongst the lower enlisted. I cannot pay you for your time, but I believe this is something you can accomplish. The Silver Knight is suspending patrols into the graveyard starting tomorrow, the 2nd. That side of Sorath is about to get much more dangerous unless something changes.
So, I guess we're going to be going into the graveyard. With a
Seems like that.
civilian. Joy. Joy, we're going into the graveyard with a civilian. Such a happy, special day. And that's what she's thinking. She's not saying that out loud by any scope of the imagination, but Reanne is thinking that.
Okay.
I will give Reanne just this regretful look and stand up. And I'll approach Piper
Okay.
and introduce myself and say, I'm also from Fordyce. Tell me a little bit about your research again, and I'll just sit down and listen and maybe kind of show that not all is lost on her plan.
Okay. So Piper says, nice to meet you. I am a adjunct researcher at the Academy in Fordyce. I much prefer Fordyce. It's a much bigger city, has everything you need, clean, walkable town. No matter where you live in town, you can get everything you need inside of 10 minutes walk, which is great. Don't need to borrow a horse and cart for everywhere you go, And even on campus, 5-minute walk to some vendors that can get you whatever you need. But enough about that. So, a lot of the scholarly work that I do is in regards to magic and necromancy, specifically how the undead function, what their weaknesses are, and their habits and what they can do and their abilities. So, even though I am not very good with weapons and I can't cast spells, I'm not a sorcerer by any means. I do know the undead very well, and I can help you by telling you what their weaknesses are before we face any of them. Sorath's Graveyard has a unique feature in that it is one of the only graveyards within Greater Cruelty that has a direct access to the Undercity within its area, and has active guardian undead. When people were buried there in ages past, they would have a servant who died alongside them, enchanted to protect their sarcophagus or their crypt or their person, whatever, even in death. And many of these people were happy to serve their masters in life in death like this. It was a tradition here in Sorath for a very long time, especially when necromancy was legal.
Can I? She seems very excited by this.
Mm-hmm.
Can I insight check her? Because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm curious if it's purely academic.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
if there's
absolutely.
another reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not great.
Purely academic, as far as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She goes on to say, and so what I have been doing a lot of is documenting from a distance, from the wall, from the curtain wall, what I've been able to see from up there. But more specifically, what I want to do is get. Well, here's what she kind of like turns her book and shows it to you. So she's got some sketches in there of some zombies, and it lists like the countermeasures to the creature, their weak spots. She says, I want to catalog the guardian undead that we have in the Sorath graveyard so that military intelligence can compare what we already know with Tal's forces and come up with better tactics for dealing with them. So, zombies, right? Skeletons, everybody knows you gotta break skeletons into dust with something blunt and smashy. But what about wraiths? What about ghouls? What about other kinds of middling undead? We don't know how to fight those as well. And so, if there's going to be any examples that aren't under Tal's control, they're going to be in the Undercity or in the crypts or in just wandering the Sorath graveyard by themselves because they've slipped the fetters of their guardianship. There are like ways to kind of get them back to do what they were supposed to be doing, but a lot of the places where the old gravekeepers used to keep their records of what those spells or incantations looked like are hidden or missing, or they were in the Undercity themselves. So I want to, that's kind of my purpose. My plan is to get some people together, pay them handsomely, of course, for my protection, and, you know, go there, do my research, collect samples, do sketches, transcribe any reliefs or etchings or other, you know, books, maybe tomes, if there's anything down there, and so that we can retain what's down there, learn from it, and conquer our foes. That's the whole gist. That's the whole thing of it.
That sounds incredibly dangerous. Are you sure you're up for it?
So it's fascinating enough that I'm willing to go and do it, and it's important work. I recognize the danger, and that's why I'm, you know, willing to spend on people to help and protect me. I'd rather have the military along because they're the best, but they're not doing it. They don't have the people to spare, so I gotta find somebody who can. And, you know, more than one is better, and it looks like there's a group of you, so that would be ideal. Well, sub-ideal. Ideal is the military, but, you know, be the next closest thing. And if that doesn't work, I'll wait for another group to come along and help. And it's not just like one small fee, right? It's a lot of money. I have a big research fund, okay? It's a lot of money. We're talking 500 gold pieces just for the graveyard and samples, right? For every crypt you get me into, I'll happily go and pay you 100 writs. Oh no, 1,000 writs for, you know, entry into a crypt. If you help me get into the Undercity and I can get a good idea of what's going on down there, I'll pay you a lot more.
I appreciate that. As we've said, we do have a personal quest, so I cannot make promises for
Understandable.
the rest, but we can at least work with the graveyard for now.
It doesn't all have to be all at the same time. I understand you've got your own things to do. You know, if we have to go into the graveyard on one trip and take a look around, and then we have to leave and come back because you have your own personal things to do, perfectly fine with me. I'll need time to get my notes together and do my drawings anyway. So.
And you will continue to be staying here?
Yeah. I'm booked here for well in advance.
Okay. I will talk to my companions. And perhaps we'll see you in the morning.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it a lot. And she goes back to writing in her book and eating her evening meal because it's getting on towards the evening now. Okay, you return to your companions. You return to Mayhem.
Yep. Scholars are always so excitable.
True words, cousin. True words.
I promised nothing, but indicated we might be able to assist at least with our graveyard quest. At least for now. I worry if things are as bad as we're seeing. It's about to get a lot more dangerous here.
I'm sure they're as bad as they seem, cousin, and I'm sure they're going to get worse.
Okay. Just a point of housekeeping. You guys have received the Curio Collector quest from Piper.
Okay.
That's what this is. You have two objectives currently. The first one is that Piper must survive. She can't pay you if she's dead. And the second one is escort Piper into the Soroth graveyard. She needs an escort. And she said she'd reward you a lot of money. But of course, quests do come with experience points. So.
Mm-hmm.
The greater good of the country versus Calvin, who also might be the greater good for the greater good of the country.
Mayhem poofs in response to either your thoughts or your out loud words, Cynthia.
I
Reanne.
love him.
Thank you, Mayhem.
Boof! Boof!
We need to find someone that can give you a amulet of speech or something.
Boof!
I'm sure.
I mean, within 10 minutes I can communicate if really needed.
I'm sure.
I find that despite speaking a different language, dogs are always very expressive.
Head tilt. Okay. It sounds like you guys are winding down to spend the evening here.
Yes.
Okay.
Since it's 5:30 also.
Yeah. The boarding house has 2 floors. You wanted to book a rooms on this floor or on the second floor?
Ground floor, it's safer.
Okay. So when evening comes, you guys can go to the rooms out here. Just have 2 rooms chosen. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rooms. 10. Nope, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rooms and a restroom down at the end of the hall. And this is 2 couches on a rug.
Well, I had it set up for Vera and I to share one room and Timothy and James to share the other.
Okay. Did you want rooms next to each other?
And I guess we'll be sharing it with Mayhem too.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Mayhem's coming in. He's gonna be in somebody's room. He's pads along past you guys.
I've never
Alright.
been happier.
So, do you want rooms kind of like on this line here, or do you want the back rooms, which are over here?
This line is fine.
Okay. Okay, so the ladies going into that room with Matt, with him, with Mayhem, and James, and Timothy in this room. Okay. Nice. Okay. So Foundry added like a new wall type for windows, and it's supposed to like give you only short vision outside the window depending on how close you're standing to it. So like Reanne, if you stand here, kind of, you get more vision. You see that? But if you're
Yes.
there, you get less. And I think it's pretty interesting, but I think it also denies the fact that if they don't connect to regular walls well, which is why we had that like slicing on the map in some spots. You know what I mean? Does that
Yeah.
ring a bell?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I find it like when I look out my window, I can see more than that, even if I'm 10 feet away from it. So I don't know. I might just replace them all with the old window type, and because those were functional, you could they did what they were supposed to do, which was give you vision outside through a window. Let me know that there's a window there. That's basically what they're supposed to do. Give you, make you know that. We're kind of out of time here now. Is there anything last minute that you guys want to do?
I had one small conversation I wanted to have with Reanne.
Sure. Yeah.
I just wanted to describe Piper's book, and kind of within, like, trying to find hope anywhere. Vera will kind of say maybe she would know if there's a way to save Calvin. Might be someone
I think
nice to have close to us.
I think you're staring at the sunny side of the street, cousin, but it never hurts to have extra things in your pouch. But I think what's wrong with Calvin is far beyond her abilities. However, you never know. I think sleep is probably our best. It's been an interesting day.
That it has. Oh, we made a new friend.
Boof. Bork. Okay.
I hate to tell you this, Mayhem, but you're probably going to get a bath tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey. Oh, speaking of which, cousin, I bought you a present, and I gave her one of the bars of soap I bought.
You trying to tell me something?
No, it's soap. It's nice to have.
I will take it.
Okay. The request trade in the button in the bottom left-hand corner is functional. It should allow you to exchange items between each other, and money.
Cool.
I think.
Okay.
That's funny. You hand her some soap. It's a bar. It's got lavender in it. It's very nice.
It's a very nice soap. Yes.
My last remark, unless there's something, James, you wanna do while you're settling down to bed. I know Timothy's not here to roleplay with, unfortunately.
No, not really. I have a feeling that Timothy would snore loudly.
He might. He might.
So I need confirmation on that. Uh,
Okay. Well,
Otherwise, James will wake up with a pillow over his head.
That's so funny.
okay, we'll roll a d10. Okay, he does not snore tonight.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, so my last thing is when you guys entered your rooms, there was a flyer on each of the beds. This flyer is under the Sorath Quests tab. It reads, just for the benefit of the stream, Card Sharks of Sorath rejoice! The Bronze League tournament begins in 3 days on the 4th of Florus. A full deck is required to play. Game, Wheel of War. Unranked contenders may enter. Entry fee, 5 writs. Winnings, 10 writs per win, 40 writs grand prize. Where? Sorath Boarding House. So it sounds like, according to the flyer, that a card tournament is coming to Sorath. And it's coming here to specifically this building.
Standard,
Uh,
standard playing cards or like Magic the Gathering?
They're standard playing cards. They are. They're not like they're different suits than our European playing cards tradition. So there's no spades or anything like that. Actually, Reanne, you have a full deck, so technically, if you
I
wanted to,
do.
you could enter. And if you have the actual item playing card set, it does go over all of this information of like what the different card games in Cruelty are. Wheel of War is one of those cards where um, one deck is used and it's shuffled between the players, and certain suits have advantage over other suits. So the sword suit beats the axis suit, or at least is worth more than the axis suit, and etc. So the suits are swords, axes, maces, and spears. Those are the 4 suits. A expanded deck has grimoires, staves, and bows. So it's 3 extra suits plus a supplicant card, which is a sort of like the Joker. It has a different use in different games, and there's a special rule that can be opted in where a chosen 1 card, a 2, will always beat a god or goddess, which is the maximum, the 13 in place of the king, part of the deck. So the that's kind of what's in there. So there's a card tournament coming to Sorath. This is one of those things where you can make some cash if you have the skill, or if you don't have the skill, you can enter if you have the tool set, and you can take your chances that way. It's just one of the extra things that we do in the background to sort of give life to the world, but also to give you guys some opportunities for fun outside of adventuring. So.
It sounds like a fun thing to actually play.
Yeah. Outside of that, I don't know if you have a deck, James. Do you have a deck? I don't think you do. No, you don't.
I don't.
No.
I do not have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
excuse me.
You do have Merchant 1 and Wood Carving Novice, so you could do that kind of stuff as economic opportunities. But anyway, that all said, I think we'll call the episode to a close here. So, this is as good as any place to stop, especially since you are... What are you doing, Reanne?
Having problems with my buttons?
Problems with your buttons.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I was trying to read something and I hit the wrong thing.
Okay. This is a good place to end. So I'll see you guys on the... What is the day that we play again? Ooh, I didn't schedule it.
No, you didn't.
It would be the 4th, so first and third Saturdays of the month. So it would be the 4th of November and the 18th of November. Those are okay, yeah?
Those are fine. The 11th is. I could even make the 11th work, but we'll be at a local science fiction convention that weekend.
Okay. Well, 4th and 18th. I'll put those up
Yeah, no
on.
problem on my end.
I'll put those up, and we'll count on those 2 days. So generally, I'm gonna opt for the first and third Saturday of the month because that's what we agreed to way back when we started this. So that will also be December 2nd and December 16th.
Yay!
Is that okay? Yay.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. January 6th and January 20th. And going on into the new year. See, this was episode 4. Okay. By the time we're in the heart of rage, everyone, just to kind of like bring us back to just general stuff and things. In the heart of rage, we'll probably be starting early next year, if not December. Really depends on how much work I get done. So, that'll be your sister campaign. You guys will have another group of Valgas players active in the world at the same time you are. You guys, I think, will be a month ahead of them in real time. In game, like you guys are starting on the 1st of Flores, and I think they are actually going to be starting in summer of the Valgas calendar. So that's actually 2 months ahead of you, or behind you. So there's going to be like a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of timey-wimeyness going on there. But you guys will be far enough apart geographically that it's not going to matter. But part of me wants this campaign to be done, or for me to have an idea of how it's going to end before starting theirs, because yours could impact theirs. It really depends on how it goes a little bit. But so far, things have been on a good track. So with that, I'm gonna sign off. Bye, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Hope I hope you guys.
Bye, guys.
Those of you that watched had a good time, and those of you that watch later, I hope you have a good time with this episode too. And see you in a couple weeks.